Hi, I'm Chef James, and welcome to my show. So recently, I was inspired by my friend Chef Julieyoon's visit to Korea to try some Korean fusion cooking. So today, I'm going to cook for you a bulgogi glazed salmon with Goguma puree. And to balance out that sweetness, I'm going to saute some mustard greens which have a peppery flavor to them. So grab your Goguma and I'll show you how to make it.
What's going on? Thanks, James, for hijacking my show today.
Yeah, thanks for being on my show, Julie.
Anyways, I can't wait for you guys to try out this dish. Trust me when I say it's delicious. We've tried it already. So, why don't you tell us what's in it?
Yeah, so today we'll be using salmon fillets, cornstarch, salt, black pepper, water, sesame oil, vegetable oil, honey, soy sauce, brown sugar, mirin, mustard greens, ginger, garlic, onion, cream, Korean sweet potato, roasted sesame seeds, unsalted butter, scallions, Korean chili flakes. So you want to start off by roasting some goguma, which are Korean sweet potatoes.
Which I've already done. So we just got 2 medium gogumas in the oven, 400-degree oven, for roughly 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how big it is. And the main difference between a Korean sweet potato and a regular sweet potato is that the skin is red, but the flesh is white, and it's starchier, a little drier, a little sweeter, and it tastes kind of like chestnuts. So that's the main difference. You can pick it up at the Korean market.
So for your bulgogi glaze, we're going to be sweating some garlic, ginger, and onions to start off.
Wait, you only needed 1 tablespoon of chopped onion? Why'd you chop so much?
My show. We're going to need 1 tablespoon of onions, 2 tablespoons of garlic, and 2 teaspoons of ginger. So now we're going to start by making the base of our bulgogi glaze. We're going to take 1 cup of water, and then a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1.5 tablespoons of mirin.
Oh, and for those who don't know, mirin is just a sweet cooking seasoning.
And then 2 tablespoons of brown sugar.
Sorry. I put this in the bowl last night. It's like a solid rock.
1 tablespoon of honey. And you'll probably have to scrape this out of whatever container that you're using. And then we're just going to whisk this all together to incorporate everything. Now I also have 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, but I'm going to use that in the pot when I sweat my ingredients. Take 1 tablespoon of sesame oil and put it into the pot and bring it up to temperature. Add in your garlic, your onions, and your ginger and sweat them down at medium heat. So you want to make sure that you don't get any color on these. You just want the onions to be nice translucent, and you want a nice aromatic smell from the ginger and garlic. This will take about 3 minutes or so. Once everything is sweated down, add your soy sauce mixture to the pot and bring it up to a boil. Once your sauce comes to a boil, turn down the heat and bring it to a simmer and let it reduce for about 4 to 5 minutes. While your sauce is reducing, take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water and combine them in a small bowl. This is called a slurry and it's used to thicken your sauce. You probably won't end up using all of this, maybe about half. Before you add your slurry, turn up the heat on your sauce just a little bit to help activate the cornstarch. And don't forget to stir your slurry 1 more time because it might have settled to the bottom. Slowly stream the slurry into your sauce and continually whisk. Remember, you only use what you need. Even I didn't use everything. Once your sauce thickens up, season to taste. So while I'm here, I'm going to prep out the rest of my ingredients. So we have 4 6-ounce fillets of salmon, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of vegetable oil on top and rub that in. And then we are going to take salt and pepper and season them.
Oh, but you only season on one side,
I'm
right?
only going to season on one side.
That was what I thought was interesting when I saw him do this before.
Restaurant tactics. A little bit of pepper.
Aw man, my pepper was all oily.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm also going to talk about the mustard greens. So mustard greens are leafy vegetables that are a little peppery in taste, almost like horseradish. But a lot of that flavor will go away once we wilt it and saute it in the saute pan.
I think it's interesting that it kind of looks like kale.
Kind of does. So if you can't find mustard greens, you could use collard greens, which have a slightly less peppery taste to them. And if you can't find collard greens, then you could always use kale. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the leafy part off the stem. I just like to grab it at the end and then just kind of pull. And then we're just going to tear them into bite-sized pieces.
And then sometimes I notice that mustard greens, they're extra dirty, like a lot of sand and grit is on them. So if that happens, just dunk it in a big bowl of cold water and just let all the sediment fall to the bottom and you should be good.
So for our mustard greens, we're also going to use 2 teaspoons of chopped garlic, which is roughly about 2 cloves, and 1 tablespoon of sesame seed oil to saute them in.
And we're just going to do this at the end. Hot potato.
Oh, thanks, Julie. So it's important for your goguma to be hot when you puree everything because you want the butter to melt. So Korean sweet potato starts off white, but as you roast it, it turns yellow. If it's not hot enough, you could always throw it back into the microwave for about a minute or so. So now that we got our goguma peeled, we're going to put them into our blender. And if they're a little bit big, just breaking them up a little bit so it's easier to blend. So we're going to start off by adding 2 tablespoons of butter, just so it has a little head start in melting a little bit. And then we're going to take a half cup of cream and pour that in. So you want to keep on letting this blend until it's nice and smooth. And if there are clumps, then just take a little spatula and just kind of move it around a little bit, help it out. I ended up adding a little bit more cream because my assistant Julie, she roasted some pretty big goguma. So you want to start off with half a cup and then just add cream as needed until you get like a loose consistency, or not too loose, just so it falls off the spoon.
So Chef James, when you puree potatoes, aren't you afraid of them getting gummy?
So the beauty of sweet potatoes, they don't get too gummy when you puree them. That's why I like using them.
Looks lovely.
So nice and smooth. Now we're going to sear our salmon. You want your pan screaming hot, so take a little bit of oil.
And you could see the smoke coming off of it.
So you know your pan is really hot. So we're going to take the side that we seasoned, which is going to be our presentation side, and this is the part that's going to go down onto the pan. So while you're putting it down, you kind of want to, you hear that sizzle? That pan is hot! You want to spread out your salmon a little bit so you're not like overcrowding them, and you don't want them to steam while they sear.
And I have the oven set at 350 degrees, and I'm just going to oil an aluminum foil lined pan so that the salmon can go in the oven after it's seared on one side.
You're going to sear the salmon for about 2 to 4 minutes, just until that one side is nice golden brown all over.
Alright guys, here's something to know. We've experienced something really weird with our sauce. As it cooled down, it got kind of thin, like the slurry broke. So if that ever happens to you, just put it back on heat and just try to whisk it again. And if it's still not coming together, just use whatever leftover slurry you have and stream it in. It might not be as thick as you had it before, but it'll do.
It'll still work.
It'll still taste good.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure that the sauce stays fairly warm, right? Isn't that the key?
Yeah. But on the bright side, look at that sear on that salmon.
It's a pretty beautiful sear,
That's
I have
a nice
to admit.
sear. That's a nice sear.
Good job.
So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take the glaze, we're going to take a spoon, and we're just going to like cover the seared side of the salmon. You just want enough to cover and to give it that nice Bulgogi flavor.
You might have better luck with your glaze if you're not filming a show like us. So if it's thicker than this, then good for you. Good job. That's what we're looking for.
So now we're going to put our salmon in our oven at 350 degrees for about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how well you like it cooked.
I'm just going to babysit this sauce on low heat because I don't want it to break again. And we're going to spoon a little bit extra when we're plating.
So now we're going to saute our mustard greens. We're going to use a little bit of sesame oil, just enough to like put a little bit of flavor onto it. We're going to take the minced garlic that we have, which is about 2 teaspoons, and we're only going to use half for now. I have my pan at medium-low heat because I don't want to burn anything and I don't want to wilt down the greens too much. So I'm just going to let that go for a little bit, and then we're going to add our mustard greens. So as you can see, my pan is pretty full right now, but as the mustard greens cook down, they're going to start to shrink. So right before I take it out, I'm going to season with salt and pepper. So add a little bit of salt, a couple of grains of pepper.
I like how there's mustard greens all over my floor right now.
I don't know what you're talking about. So that's good, and now we're gonna take it out. Now that my first batch is done, I'm gonna move on to my second. So mustard greens are pretty similar to turnip greens, and I remember the first time I really had turnip greens was in a salad with roasted turnips, and at that moment, I fell in love with the stuff.
I think I nursed your glaze back to health. Look at this.
No, I think it could be better, Julie. If you want your own show, then you're gonna have to do
gotta
better.
work hard for it.
Exactly, you gotta work.
What in the world? Oh,
and you made a mess
too. Here, take your wine. I'm not gonna lie, this took a while to do because, I don't know, we had some technical difficulties or something.
I don't know about technical.
No, the recipe is actually pretty easy to do, but we just had a little hiccup. And so it took us a while, and therefore, I am starving. I can't wait to eat this. It looks good. Well, mine did look good. But I gotta get every little...
I know, you want to get a little bit of everything. Don't forget that green onion with the puree.
Mmm.
How was it?
It's better than the first time.
What? It's impossible.
I'm serious. Mmm.
Okay, yeah, that is pretty...
Right?
Wow.
It's totally worth doing.
I think it's worth it if someone makes it for you.
Maybe. No, I mean, it was a little bit, I wouldn't say advanced, but there were a little bit more steps and ingredients than my recipes are normally.
What are you trying to say? I'm difficult or something?
No, it's every time James is on our show, somehow, it's like the ingredients explode, but it's totally worth it. This is perfect for like a special occasion, the holidays, whatever. The salmon is perfectly cooked. It's a beautiful orangey pink in the middle for a medium.
That's exactly how I like my salmon.
That's how I like it too. So, I mean, this is great because like the sweetness of the bulgogi glaze comes out, but then it's balanced by the horseradishy, spicy, peppery mustard greens.
Yeah, but the horseradish isn't too strong because we cooked it down a little bit.
A little more mild. You get every note, like the sesame oil, the garlic, and we were talking about how we love the spicy, like the raw scallions against the goguma puree. Smooth and creamy and sweet.
Adds a nice little bite to it. So if you can't find mustard greens, then you could always use kale, you could use collard greens, you could use spinach, or even like arugula. Arugula would be okay too.
That'd be a good substitution, yeah.
Arugula I might not even cook. I just might toss it in some...
wilt it down.
Wilt it down real quick, maybe only just toss it in some sesame oil or something like that.
I love how you didn't wilt down the mustard greens too much. There's a little bit of that rawness and that freshness that comes from not wilting down too much. Oh.
That's why it's my show.
Well, thanks for coming on to my show and sharing my recipe.
Your recipe.
Thanks so much, Chef James, and
no
thanks
problem.
for spending the day with us. If you enjoyed this recipe, want to give it a try, then let us know how it turned out for you. Remember to push like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching.
Her channel.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye. Oh, so now he comes out from behind the camera. He was too hungry before. He didn't want to be on camera.
Now he's hogging it all. Hogging all the spotlight. Hey, don't focus on you. Show us back here, buddy. So today, I'm going to make for you a... Sorry, my hands are not camera worthy. They're not camera worthy.
Thanks, James, for hijacking my show today.
Yeah, thanks for being on my show, Julie.
I'm excited for you to... Oh, you can see the oil smoking and rippling, which means it's hot enough. Oh, geez, that was a good line. You ruined it.
So you're... We're going to take 1 cup of water and 1/4 cup of soy sauce.
1/4 cup.
And there's so much pasta in between. It's okay?
We can
We're gonna edit?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We can edit. But I'm just saying, like, action while you're talking.
1.5 tablespoons of mirin. 1.5 tablespoons of mirin.